Hi, I'm Ashley, and this is the corner of the internet where I talk about my knitting. I live in a studio apartment with my boyfriend Angel and our two dogs Yaku and Chango. Let's cast on the Bluebird sweater. The Bluebird sweater is a round yoke colorwork sweater by Ronja Hakaleto. Sorry for the pronunciation. I have been eyeballing this pattern before it released for a while now. She had a cardigan version of it for some years, and I actually was considering getting that pattern and just making a sweater version of it. But last Friday, she dropped the sweater version of this sweater, and I think it is stunning. I love the motif. The colors I think she chose were beautiful, and I think I have the perfect yarn for this project. In my yarn pantry, I had a color work sweater's worth of yarn in the Tuku Wool DK. This is a Finnish wool. I've never worked with it before, but I've heard such great things about it. The colorways are incredible. Specifically, this color is just so amazing. And so I have, for my main color, I am going to use, and these names are in Finnish, so excuse my pronunciation, but Tini. It is this navy blue color. And for the contrast color, or the color that's going to be the floral motif, I am going to use Nila, which is this golden brown yellowy ochre color that is just so delicious. So I was actually planning on waiting a while before casting on this project. I wanted at least one of my whips to be off the needles before I started it, but I just can't wait anymore. It's tickling my mind. I'm just itching to cast this on. So I'm going to wind these skeins up into cakes, and I want to cast on here within the next week or so. So I'm going to take you guys along with me. So I knitted this sweater holding 2 strands of the fingering Jagger Spun Heathers yarn in the color Amber. This is a beautiful yarn. It's lightweight, but it feels sturdy. If you've noticed throughout my knitting journey and through these videos, I am more of a rustic girly, so I enjoy more rustic wools. I would say that I have more tolerance to them. So just keep that in mind if you are going to check out the yarns that I do use, because they tend to be toothy or scratchy, I think, for most people. But I love this. There is no pilling so far. I've worn it a few times and I don't think it is going to pill. It just feels like that type of textured yarn that, yeah, it just feels really hardy and sturdy. So it's warm, but like temperature regulating at the same time. I've been wearing this with like high-waisted skirts and it's so cute. I did decide to make this really cropped, so it comes a little bit below my belly button. So it pretty much ends where my natural waistline is, which is pretty cropped. And I think it's just super cute, and I think it's going to be great for this transitional season, for spring, for fall, and even something to throw on over dresses in the summer, like for like chilly evenings, or if I'm, you know, going to see a movie and just need something a little extra to keep me warm in a super air-conditioned building. Next, I'd like to share with you the progress I've made on my Nordic Bloom vest by Caitlin Hunter. I am almost done with the color work portion. Is this not the coolest design? I love it. It is so beautiful. I am knitting this with the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino. The dark color is Brown Bear and the ochre color is, I think it's dark ochre. I will double check for you. And so this is also going to be my first steeked project or garment. So there is this line at the beginning of the pattern. If you can see here, here's the hem down here, which splits, and then you join together and you make these steeked, I guess, bracket, so that when I am done with the color work section, I will split for the V-neck and separate for the V-neck. And eventually, when I'm probably done with the garment, I am going to cut it, which is what steeking is. It's going to be the first time that I'm going to cut into a garment. So I just cut along this line, reinforce it first. I am planning on reinforcing it with a crochet chain, which I've seen online. This yarn is toothy as well. It's great for color work because it has that grippiness. So I think with reinforcing it with a crocheting chain, it shouldn't go anywhere. And then after I cut into it, that's when I will pick up for the button band, create the button band, sew the buttons on, and I will have a completed garment. And since it's a vest, it's going by pretty quickly, but I do try to take my time with color work just because it is a more slow process than just stockinette knitting. Next, I'm going to talk about the Waffle Loops sweater by Other Loops. So since my setting up my whips video, that's pretty much all I've worked on for this sweater. Is just I went ahead and I created a crochet chain reinforcement stitch in the bottom of the neck, and I have started the neck ribbing in order to make, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a funnel neck. I might make a turtleneck where it folds over, which I think would look really nice as well. Since this is alpaca, it is quite heavy, and so in order to create more reinforcement, something to kind of hold the garment up so that it doesn't stretch over time, I did that crochet reinforcement chain on the bottom of the neck ribbing, and I'm just going to do ribbing for a while until I'm done with the neck. Try it on and then see if it's at this length that I do like, and then finish the bottom hemming before I move on to the sleeves. This is a very, I guess, dramatic drop shoulder, so I don't think adding the sleeves before will really do anything, because this shoulder already comes down to about here, so it's very dramatic, and so adding the sleeves wouldn't really pick anything up in the sense of where it's going to sit at the bottom, like on the bottom body portion of the garment. I do have a new cast on. I am happy to say that I am joining a sweater for summer knit along that is being put on by Beans and Skeins as well as Knit Cheek. I will have their YouTube channels linked below. They are both one of my favorite knitting content YouTubers. So I went ahead and casted on the Wood Folk Sweater by Saskia & Co. She is formerly known as the Petite Knitter. Her work is really inspired by I think it's the Arctic tundra. She lives way up north, and her designs are very inspired by, I believe, Inuit culture. And so I decided to cast this on. This sweater has been in my queue for a while. I've been wanting to make it for a while. It is so beautiful, and I figured this would be perfect for this knit along because it is a fingering weight sweater, and I am planning on making the sleeves quarter length, so that way it's kind of a small lightweight sweater that comes, you know, to the sleeves come down to my elbow, more of a top, something that I can wear into the office. And so I started it, and here it is so far. I just started it, so I am just now working on the color work yoke. Another reason why this project is special is because I am using my hand spun yarn to be the contrast color for this garment. So this is the yarn or the roving that I got from a local farm that's not too far from where I live. They literally live like 6 minutes away from me. It's called Hestia Farms. I'll link them below as well. Owned by this very lovely couple, and they have some donkeys and some sheep, and they also, I think they sell vegetables. I think they do a little bit of agricultural, like farming, when it comes to vegetables and plants and things like that. But their sheep wool is really impressive. I spun this and I was able to achieve a fingering weight, which was so cool, and this is so beautiful. This is the natural color. I think that's another reason why this is so special, is because black sheep is really hard to come by, at least from what I've noticed, and this is as dark as it comes, and I'm able to purchase from them and pretty much pick it up and meet the little sheep that this was a part of, it was their wool. They're so cool. So along with that, I am using the main color. This is Tuku wool. It is a Finnish wool. This is also a very rustic wool. It has this halo to it. Even the dye, since this is kind of a pinkish purpley lilac color, but it's broken up a lot by the natural color of the wool. So it is heathered in a, I don't know, I believe the sheep wool was maybe a gray or a brown, because you can see that popping through the dye, the purple dye. Gorgeous. I absolutely love Tuku wool so far. This is the first time I'm working with it, and it is stunning. It is so beautiful. Very toothy, very rustic. Would not recommend if you're sensitive to those types of wools, but if you are into those rustic natural wools, man, this is a pleasure. So these are the two colors that I'm using for this sweater. And yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of this knit along. It's the first knit along that I'm going to be a part of, at least the online world. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for coming along as I update you guys on my whips. It's great to do this because it kind of holds me accountable, and it helps me kind of plan, or at least ideate what to plan for next or what to finish next. So it was great chatting with you guys. I hope you joined the A Sweater for Summer KAL, and I hope you guys get some creating done at some point this week. Make sure to get some creating done sometime this week, and I'll talk to you next time.